Microphone turned off. Can you see if it's showing me live? Don't mean to bother you. Let me see. Playing the video. It'll cut off here in a second. The sound will.
You know. All right. OG Son back with another just kind of a freestyle drawing thing here, and it's been kind of a long day. Did a little extra work. Ready to just sit down and relax. Been working on a little project. Time to just kind of kick back and do a little drawing, clear my head out. We'll see what happens. Now I'm starting with the black background on this one, so I'm probably going to go a little dark with this one. I'll be on here for a while, so we'll see who pops in. Hope everybody had a pretty good day today. A little bit rainy here, a little bit nasty. So big things happening, kind of, well, I say big things, relatively big on the old YouTube channel here. I'm up over 77 subscribers now, so like I said, that's small potatoes for some folks, but that's pretty big for old American Oji-san here. I've been at like 50 subs for over a year now, but it's kind of because I wasn't really focusing on this thing, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. But now I feel like I kind of got a direction with this, so hopefully we can get this thing to grow and take off a little bit. So we shall see, as they say. Said it's been kind of a wet, rainy one here today. I don't know if old You Couldn't See Me made it out to the dumpsters today, but hopefully he did. Found some good stuff, maybe. Now, I honestly have zero idea what I'm going to do with this thing yet, so just kind of bear with me for a second until I can spot something that I want to do. Usually this is how I start off most of my drawings. I just kind of take off with them. And then I kind of figure out what I'm going to do. Alright, so we got kind of this little background here. Kind of reminds me of some old heavy metal type stuff. Actually, this reminds me of a story from Epic magazine, which was Marvel's attempt at making a heavy metal magazine. And honestly, Epic magazine, I have to say, was pretty epic. There's even a comic book series out there that kind of followed it up. It's Choli and Flytrap. Now this is not going to be a Choli and Flytrap painting. But this definitely is going to have some inspiration from that story. And the story in Epic Magazine was called A Little Love, A Little Hate. And if you ever go look that stuff up, that was some of my most influential stuff right there. For whatever reason, that story really resonated with me. I really enjoyed that one. And then I think it wasn't until the 90s when they actually came out with a comic book series, Choli and Flytrap, that kind of followed up on A Little Love, A Little Hate. And of course, I've got them all somewhere. Actually, I think they printed them twice, and because I bought all of them, and I thought that it was two different series, but it ended up just being a reprint of the same story. So I was a little let down there, but I ended up giving one copy to one of my daughters, and kind of made a Choli and Flytrap fan out of her. It was pretty cool. It's good stuff. That's all I'm saying. It's good stuff. Now, just kind of sticking with this abstract stuff that I've been doing here lately. That's really was kind of my only goal tonight. I just really didn't want it to be about anything other than just drawing and kind of enjoying that experience. So like I said, I got up to 77 subs today, and that was thanks to a website called Sprizzy, and it's just kind of a website that optimizes Google ads for you. So I didn't do anything extremely special.
You got another person on there.
I didn't go viral or nothing like that. I just
This person said, "Hi, well, your live streaming seems to be working."
who's out there watching me? Is that you? Couldn't see me watching me?
No, it's MOHOME Steady. Mo Homesteading.
Oh, Missouri Homesteader. Welcome. Thanks for checking it out.
Now they're gone.
Sorry for that kind of random shout out there. Missouri Homesteader. Her and her husband have a YouTube channel, and I met them through a kind of a live stream deal that this scrapper guy from the UK does. His name is or his channel is Snobby. Not sure what his actual name is, but it's really cool to watch those guys all hang out together and the funny stuff they say while they're hanging out.
He's an artist. He says, "I'm an artist. I've been waiting for you to go live.
Well, cool.
To get you some more people."
Awesome. Hey, I'm having trouble seeing my chat. My wife's kind of reading the chats off to me.
You could call her Mo or Tanya.
Tanya, all right. So I'm kind of on a rinky-dink setup here. I'm using OBS to run this stream, but the problem I have is I can't see my chat. So what I have is Mrs. Oji-san over there. She's watching my chat for me. So I apologize for the slow responses and stuff like that. I do the best I can with what I got. And I surely appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
Her name is Tanya.
Alright, Tanya. Well, Tanya, I hope you like weird paintings, because if you're here, you're gonna see some weird paintings. And like I kind of said earlier, I really don't have a plan for where I'm gonna go with this just yet. It'll kind of become clear to me about the same time it becomes clear to you what I'm trying to do here. So I kind of call it playing in the clouds. You know, I don't know if you ever just like to sit out on a sunny day and look up at the clouds and just.
On Twitter, baby?
I don't know if I announced it on Twitter or not. I think I have. If you just sit out there and kind of watch the clouds and look for faces and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of the same thing I do. I just do it with paint. And in this case, digital paint. But I also do it with traditional paint too. So.
I figured, yes, I have all kinds of artist friends, so I need to get you some people.
Well, that's awesome, Tanya. I appreciate, like I said, I really, truly appreciate the support. And that kind of the slow growth of this channel has been a little bit my own fault, because I couldn't really decide if I wanted to be some kind of a talk show type thing or an artist. And I just kind of discovered that really, truly, honestly, my true passion is in art. And I really didn't get back into art till, I don't know, about a year and a half ago or so. I just kind of just started dabbling with deviant art, and it was kind of support one of my kids. Goes by the name of Dr. Kidney, and I kind of got on deviant art, and then for whatever reason the bug hit me again, and next thing you know, a year later, I've got like 800 deviations out there on that thing, and tons of fans and stuff like that. And I really fell back in love with this whole thing. I guess it's kind of just one of those things that fell through the cracks as I kind of grew up and had kids, and my kids were growing up, and kind of learning how to be people. I put all my stuff on the back burner, and now me and Mrs. Oji-san have an empty nest, and I just enjoy playing with my grandkids a lot. So now I have a little bit more time, I say a little bit, to devote to this stuff. I do end up just so that I might be able to retire someday. I do work 2 jobs, and I work a lot. And when I'm not working, you know what I'm doing? I'm usually drawing something, either for somebody or just because. And Mrs. Ojisan does not care as long as I'm happy. So this is almost turning out some kind of a steampunky Grinch looking thing, but we'll figure out what it is here in a minute.
She said, I understand. I got back into art when 3 of mine were going to graduate the same year, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? That was in 2003. And she goes, you know that's a glorious chicken, right?
You think this is a chicken, Tanya? It could be. We could go that direction with it. I still don't know, just to tell you the truth. I still really haven't figured out just what the heck I'm doing with this thing yet. I don't know if you caught the little live stream thing I did last night, but it was kind of a funny situation because I just woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep, and my nephew called, and
Yep. She said glorious chicken, yep.
and he enjoys the same kind of artwork I do. See, I don't know about you, but we kind of grew up with the old heavy metal magazine type stuff, and well, he is my nephew. We pretty much grew up as brothers. He's only 7 years younger than I am. I've been an uncle since I was 7 years old, so. But anyway, he's got the itch for a new tattoo, and he wanted some kind of alien theme tattoo, so that's where that whole alien thing kind of came from. Now, I'm still just kind of in the figuring out phase here, and usually I've got some direction to go, but I still haven't figured this guy out yet. That glorious chicken thing, we're just gonna call him like the space rooster. I'm kind of feeling that already.
She really likes everything. It just depends on the day.
Yeah, I try to get out there on YouTube and DeviantArt and check out as much of other people's stuff as possible and comment and encourage them, because I know how hard it is, and I know how nerve-wracking it is when you start putting your stuff out there online. I'm sure you understand that, and you catch all the negative comments and the trolls and stuff like that, and you just gotta learn to brush all that stuff off and do what you enjoy. And Tanya, what kind of medium do you paint with? Is it digital? Is it I'm sure I've watched some of your stuff. I probably commented on it, but what is your main medium of art?
the homesteading stuff first. But I'm more confident now to share my art in my channel too.
Well, I saw your channel about the loofahs, but I have not caught one of your art videos yet. I might have to go out there and check your stuff out. I really want to see what you're doing.
She says I actually do a lot of mediums. I'm actually a stone carver, but I do paintings with acrylics, mosaic, figurative sculptures, fused glass, metal sculpture, wood carving, all of it. You can look up some of my stuff at Original Art by Tanya Yomashita on Facebook.
All right, Tanya,
I said, nope, haven't done one yet.
I will definitely
Loofah.
go check your stuff out. I would really encourage you to get on here, get some art videos out here. We just do not have enough artists on YouTube. We're kind of struggling with that. Okay, so we got kind of a basic idea here. So we're going to start carving in some stuff here. And if I start throwing some big shapes and colors out there, just kind of bear with me. Don't freak out, because we're just going to go for this thing. Now when I do these kind of deals, and Tanya, I don't know if you've ever messed with digital art at all. The coolest part is I've got this set up on a separate layer, so I can lay all this heavy paint in and then go back and carve it back out with an eraser. It's really kind of an unfair advantage that you have over traditional art, and I've done a lot of traditional paintings and stuff too, and I don't have this luxury of being able to go back and carve out layer by layer what I'm trying to do here. But with digital, you certainly can. And
she said, yep, I'm going to, no doubt, going to be a live stream once a week for art combos, one a week for homesteading, and one for just general chat. That will be next month. I love it already.
Well, that's cool. I cannot wait to catch one of your live streams. And kind of my thing, Tanya, is I work so dadgum much. Really give me a heads up on when you're going to live stream, and I'll do everything I can to be available to watch it.
If not, I'll be on there.
Yeah, if not, Mrs. Oji-san's going to make sure that I know about it. We're all kind of trying to stick together on this deal. I don't know if you've talked to You Couldn't See Me Much. He's kind of the guy that brought me into your little group. But he works at the same place I do. And that's some long hours. So I've been real proud of all the stuff he's done. And he's kind of been my inspiration to get back on the stick on this thing here. Now we're just down in Arkansas. It's probably not too far from where you're at. And we do drive through Missouri quite a bit.
I don't know if they're from Missouri.
Because my in-laws are in Minnesota. And we have to drive up through that way when we go see them. We go straight up through Missouri, then
Said, will do. Yep, he's my bud.
we go straight up through Missouri, then Iowa, then get up to the great state of Minnesota. And you know, sometimes I give Minnesota a little bit of flack because when I go up there, kind of talking the way I talk and sounding the way I sound, I don't always get the best response from the young folks up there in Minnesota. But
She has a cousin that lives in Fayetteville.
you have a cousin in Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
That's not far from us.
Fayetteville is about probably an hour and a half from where I live. I live down in the valley, down by the river, in the river valley. I got kind of a hybrid upbringing because while I am from here, I was born in Ozark, Arkansas. You know, I don't know how much more hillbilly you can get than that. And I was raised in a town called Oark, Arkansas, which I guarantee you is the most hillbilly place you'll ever come across. But when I was about 11, my mom and I moved off to San Miguel, California. So I kind of went from here to California almost, well, not really almost, overnight. And so I've kind of been all around. And when I joined the Air Force, well, let me tell you. So I went to California and I stayed out there all the way through high school. And then I decided I had to come back to Arkansas. Just couldn't live without being in Arkansas. So I came back to Arkansas, and after about a year of living here in Arkansas, I said, screw this, and I took off in the Air Force. So while I was in the Air Force, you know, you kind of end up all over the place, but I ended up stationed up in Great Falls, Montana, and that's where I met Mrs. Oji-san, who is from the Philippines, but her dad's family is all from up around Duluth, Minnesota. And her dad was an Air Force guy and all that stuff too. So we got kind of a big Air Force tradition in this family. Myself, my wife, my brother, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, we were all wingnuts out of the Air Force. And I talked all my daughters into not going into the Air Force. Now, I will say one thing, and I mean this. I was not a very good airman, was I, honey?
He was good with me.
And when I say that, I mean that I kind of had some crappy influences, and I stayed in trouble a lot when I was a young airman. But Mrs. Oji-san got a hold of me, and she fixed me right up. We've been married for 27 years now. We met and were married. Well, we met around Halloween, 1993. Yeah, sorry, 1992. I just got corrected. So we met then, And we were married by that January in '93. And I remember when she that one night when she told me that we were getting married. It was a really exciting night in my life. Is that right?
Yep.
Mrs. Ojisan?
Mm-hmm.
No, we're definitely
Her husband is from California. He is a Japanese Hawaiian. Total surfer dude.
that's cool. I kind of love bringing that diverse culture to these southern states like this. And you know the funny thing is, like when I moved back here, I won't say it was all 100% smooth sailing, but you know what? Everybody has just kind of took to Mrs. Ojisan Marsadale back there like you wouldn't believe. I've got relatives that will just hunt her down because they want to talk to her and stuff. And my wife is half Filipino. Her mother is full Filipino from Cebu. And her father is a big 6 foot, how tall, 6'2", blonde headed, Finnish dude. So So do you guys ever go back to Hawaii and stuff? No, he's that's cool that he's Japanese. I'm sure he picked right up on my Oji-san name. That's a name. That's kind of a nickname I picked up when I was doing jiu-jitsu.
She said, yep, took them from LA area to a small town in Missouri of less than 300 people. We are doing pretty good for 4 years now.
I'll bet your husband knows where San Luis Obispo County is, because that's the county that I lived in California. I graduated high school from Paso Robles, California. I was a Paso Robles Bearcat.
I bet you that was a big culture shock.
But that is very, very cool. And again, I can't thank you enough for supporting me on this thing. And I can't wait for you to get your stuff going, because I really dig almost any kind of artwork. On the acrylic stuff, I really got into the kind of the acrylic pour craze that was going on. Except, you know, my philosophy about looking for faces in the clouds. Every time I would watch one of those videos, I would see some kind of a face or something. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then they would go and tilt the canvas and screw it all up, and then I would be devastated. So that's kind of how I got into the acrylic stuff, because I was like, man, I have got to get in there and do some pours.
He said not yet, he wants to.
And save some of those things that I was seeing out there.
I'd like to go to Japan and Hawaii too.
Yeah, Japan. Mrs. Oji-san was just talking about your husband, and we were both sitting here talking about Japan is definitely on our bucket list of places to go. So is Hawaii, but we both are. So we're getting kind of older. Our kids are grown, so it's getting about time to start taking some vacays overseas. Yeah, we're starting to get decent look here on this face. I'll shine these goggles up here in a minute, but we're still got some work to do here. You know, kind of the sad thing is you know, she's from the Philippines. She was born in Angeles City. Is that how you say it? Angel City? Angeles City in the Philippines, and we have been married for almost 30 years and have not made it over there yet. But we're working on it. You know, when you got them kids, you, like I said when I started this, you got to kind of put your stuff on hold. And that's what we did. And it's even kind of hard for us to let go now because of the grandkids.
Yeah, she said she tried some of the poor stuff too about 7 years ago. She still has all the stuff. I do some clocks with it on records, the poor painting. And she said, yep, we are in their early 50s.
So, Tanya, have you started messing with the, what is that stuff called? The resin stuff. I think that's like the new version of acrylic pouring. Everybody's getting into this resin pouring stuff. Have you tried that out yet?
I don't know what you said, but she said, oh yeah, you gotta do that. Oh, Japan and stuff.
Here's another little trick. So down here on the body, kind of not liking the way this whole thing's coming out. So we're going to hide some of this stuff, and then we're going to carve it back out. And we'll make this look cool. Again, this is something you can't do with traditional, but you can do it with digital, that's for sure. Yeah, the resin stuff is kind of my next thing I may get into. But right now, I'm all about this digital stuff.
She has a 2,000-pound maple tree trunk that she will be doing some of that with for tables in the spring. Yeah, that's the new trend, I think.
Yeah, that's cool with that maple tree. And you know how I kind of figured like it was going to be the new big thing is because I was in Walmart the other day. And now at Walmart, you can pick up your very own resin kit. And they even give you a little piece of wood and stuff to mess with it. Alright. We're going to get into some airbrush on this dude. Start trying to hit the home stretch on this thing. I think the resin would be fun, but I don't think that it's nearly as easy as people make it out to be. It's kind of like acrylic, you know, it looks so easy watching somebody do it on a video. Then you go to do your first pour and it just does not work that way.
Tried the digital on hands on with stuff, hitting things, getting dirty, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of how, talking about getting dirty and stuff, that's kind of how I got on this digital thing, is I got tired of tearing the whole house down with my acrylic painting. And we live in an old house, and the electricity in my little studio room cut out on us. And I have not fixed it yet because I am not a handyman. And I have not got to get back in there, and I really don't want to drag all that